Welcome to Jon Ferrian Live. Happy birthday to Connor Hood, who we have on the show tonight. Him and I share a birthday, so drop it in the messages. Wish Connor a happy birthday as you drop in, and let us know where you're watching from. We've got folks starting to drop in. Let's see who's coming in. Who's going to be first? Who can we drop in the comments and let us know where you're watching from? And again, we got David Wagner watching from California. Patrick Fines is here. He's watching from Edmonton, Canada. Awesome, awesome. We got people rocking in. We're going to be living large tonight. It's Connor's birthday. Everybody in the chat, wish Connor a happy birthday. Yes, you can wish me a happy birthday if you want to, but right now it's all about Connor. This is his show tonight. All right, let's see who else is here. We got Mark Wade is here. We got Al is here. Scott L. Barton is here. Todd Kramer is here. How's it going, buddy? We got Tia Smith coming in. So everybody who's here, come on in, drop it in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. And most of all, wish Connor a happy, happy birthday. This is his birthday night. It's his episode. Let's make a special one for him. All right, guys, for watching the show and sharing the show tonight, you will be eligible to get in on the Fly Racing Snow Goggle Garage. So the Goggle Garage holds multiple sets of goggles and all your goggle accessories, all kinds of amazing stuff there, too. Just get the show shared out on your personal pages. You can do it on club pages. Heck, put it out on a few of the sled pages, too. We'll get it out there and let everybody know. So, again, with everybody coming in, dropping it in. So, just everybody, again, we got some merchandise stuff going on. We got the Live Large where the journey begins. This shirt here I'm wearing tonight is a military green color. So, if you ever want to, order a shirt on the website, you can see that in the show notes and go there. But we also have a brand new shirt. There's the image of the new shirt, and I've got a copy of it here. I couldn't wear all the shirts all at once tonight, but I want to show it to you guys. This is what it looks like in real life, in person. There we go. Hope I can get it straight for you. There we go. All right. Boom. That's the shirt logo right there that you're seeing on the side. This is what the actual shirt is. We got a black shirt right now, limited colors. We got just black shirts coming in with the Live Large logo. And you guys know what Live Large is all about. Look real close in the pictures here. We got live life to the fullest, make the most of every day, and make a difference to others. And that's what this show and with everything we do here is all about. So get out there and have a good time. And the other thing I want to do real quick, I'm going to turn the music off here, but, just be clear. What I'm about to say is not giving somebody credit. So I'm about to not give John Miller from Backcountry United credit for this beautiful header. Like if you guys look up at the top of the screen tonight, this beautiful header that got pulled out, John Miller, he's not getting credit for that. But just so you know, he did it. All right, thanks guys, appreciate it. The new logos look awesome. I'm really excited for that too. So Connor, we're gonna bring you on here in 3, 2, and 1. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. Happy birthday, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Yeah, thanks, awesome. Man. What did you do for your birthday? Let's talk about it quick. What did you do for your birthday today?
Yeah, so I went mountain biking today. Oh, up at Duthie Hill in Washington.
You know that's right up by my house, right?
Oh, cool.
Like I live literally 5 miles from Duthie Hill. That's like almost in my neighborhood. From my house, I can ride bike to Duthie Hill and go hit the trails and come back. But I guarantee you probably shred the trails way harder than I do. Let me guess. What's some of the name of some of the trails you were hitting today?
We did. Well, some of them are like HLC and we got mostly downhill trails with downhill bikes and stuff.
Yeah, and you were probably hitting ramps, right?
Oh yeah, everything that's got a gap in between it.
Yeah, you know the trails I take? You want to know the trails I take?
Sure.
The easy ones. Boot camp.
Yep.
Boot camp's one of my favorite trails over there. It's the easy one, but it's the easiest one on the thing. But it's fun. It's like a downhill trail. It goes, a lot of snaky trails there. It's a good time. And then I think stepping it up is the next hardest one. And I think maybe there's one other one after that. But I think the bottom 3, those are the only ones that I do. I try not to get up over any of the wood jumps or anything like that. I'm too old. My bones are too brittle. But you're probably way more epic at that stuff than I am, right?
Yeah, I usually just try to start with stuff easy and then work my way up harder as I get comfortable with it.
Exactly. Ramping it up. So, Connor, this is pretty cool, buddy. Like you and I got connected on Facebook. What's your guess? Has it been a year, more than a year, less than a year?
I think it was the beginning of last season, so right about this time.
Okay. And so a little over a year ago, you and I got connected on Facebook, and you message me once in a while. You follow the show. We always see you in the comments and stuff. And I didn't really know who you were at first, and then we started messaging back and forth, and I found out through the conversation that you were 14 years old, and I was like, holy smokes,
Yep.
I can't believe that. I'll call you a kid for the moment, even though you're borderline a young man at this point. But the part that surprised me was that the way you interact on social media, and
Mhm.
the what you do, the stuff you post, the fun you have with it, and the way you interact with
Yeah.
people, you act much more mature and more older on Facebook and stuff than I would have anticipated. And so when I heard how old you were, I was a little bit surprised, and also kind of
Mhm.
excited that we have someone who is your age, who is so excited about the sport of snowmobiling. It's pretty uncommon, isn't it? Like, how many of your friends legitimately are snowmobilers and like snowmobile with you, right?
Oh yeah, I can't even think because last year was my last year in middle school, and this year my first year in high school, which has been all online. And I only know one person to this date that is in the same grade as me that snowmobiles.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I mean, here's what I find is, like, I've even got two boys myself that are teenagers that are, now 16 and 18. And, they grew up since they were 2 years old riding snowmobile and stuff too. And it seems like it's just something that, the kids that are growing up these days, it's just not nearly as exciting as a lot of us adults
Yeah.
think. Right. And so it's an interesting dynamic to hear and see that someone like yourself is excited as you are about snowmobiling, which is really cool for kind of our older generation like me, because we see someone like you and we're like, man, there is the future of our sport. And that's what I want everybody to do, is like right now in the comments, everybody who's watching, drop it in the comments and just tell Connor how excited you guys are to have someone like him as the future of our sport. Because if the future of the sport is as exciting as we're going to have with people like Connor, we're in good hands. So
Yeah.
Connor,
Thanks.
yeah, give us a little background. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. Kind of where you're from. A little bit about your life, maybe about your family, and we'll kind of get the conversation started.
Yeah. So I grew up here in Enumclaw, and that's where we live now. We have 13 acres out here, and it's super cool to be able to have animals and
Yeah,
ride dirt bikes around the farm, and sometimes even when it snows, ride snowmobiles, which is just a blast
yeah.
if we're lucky.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you've grown up in Enumclaw, which, by the way, for those who don't know, Enumclaw is in Washington, and Enumclaw is roughly from where I live about 35 miles, I think, south of
Mhm.
me. And my favorite town I get into all the time, because that's where my personal snowmobile dealer is, right? So Clem's Enumclaw Power
Yep.
Sports is right there. One of our sponsors. If you look at the top of the show header here, we got Enumclaw, Power Sports on there, and the Clem's family is an amazing family, and it's such a great
Yep.
community down there. And you shop there yourself, don't you? You guys visit there pretty regularly.
Yeah, a ton. I can't even explain how much. Yeah,
Let's
it's crazy.
go into that a little bit. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah,
Like, when
so
when you go
I've
into Clem's, like, how many years you've been shopping there, and
I've
tell us what you think.
probably
Tell us what
been
you think of
shopping
Clem's.
there maybe 5 years, maybe.
Okay.
And ever since then, I've always been super close with Clem and Corey and all the people in the sales department and service department, and I mean parts and everything. I've been super close with them, but buying parts, working on sleds, everything when it comes into that.
It's a it's
Yeah,
a
like
it's a great shop, isn't it?
yeah, just like they have their open house every year, and go there and watch them blow up snowmobiles and stuff. It's a blast.
Yeah, this year with COVID, they had to change it up a little bit again,
I
and
know.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you saw the post that I saw. But their open house is this week, actually. I think it's the 18th or the 19th or whatever. They start it here coming. Yeah, tomorrow I think is the beginning of their open house, and it goes through this following weekend. And so for anybody who's looking for some hot deals, that would be like snow show deals. Connor's dealer, which is my dealer, Clem's Enumclaw Power Sports. Make sure you go check it out, and they got a lot of hot deals for you guys this week. So.
Yep, they're totally cool.
Cool. So have you bought sleds from them, or do you just get your parts and accessories from them, or what kind of stuff do
No,
you get?
I haven't. I haven't bought sleds from them, but everything parts and have them work on, bring my own parts in and have them work on them and stuff. So they're super good with that kind of stuff.
Very nice. Very nice. And so, I know you probably briefly mentioned it, but I kind of want to go back and kind of get started on it. Like,
Hmm.
talk a little bit about, how you first got into snowmobiling. Like, were you like super little with your mom and dad riding on your dad's sled with him, kind of thing? Talk us through that and kind of the evolution of when you started to get into your own sled. So, just take us back and kind of walk us through your sled experience.
Yeah, so probably the first time that I ever got probably introduced to snowmobiles was probably, I don't even know, probably maybe 5 years ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, 5, 6 years ago, and it was super cool. One of my dad's friends, Rich, that works with my dad at his body shop in Auburn, got me into him. He had a couple of snowmobiles he was storing here at the house, and I would go out there every day and hop on them and think how cool it was and dream about snowmobiling. And then here we are now. I mean, it's just super cool to. And then, yeah, my first snowmobile was a Arctic Cat Crossfire 700 that my dad bought from a dealer auction in
Okay.
Auburn.
Okay.
Yeah, so he brought that thing home, got me super pumped on it. Couldn't even pull the thing over or anything. I was too small.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
Because you were
kind of
probably,
got
what, 10 years old at that point, or 9 even?
uh,
Or what? How old were you? Probably
yeah,
9 or
probably
10? Or,
10, probably
yeah.
10, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you're
and he
10 years old riding an M7 already, which is a pretty stout sled. I think that's probably similar to, I think my kids were on an M6, similar sled though. It was like
mhm.
a 141, I think it was the track, or
Yeah,
one,
yeah, this is like a 153, like
oh,
a trail
153.
sled or
Yep.
something. Yeah.
Yep.
And so, yeah, my dad got on the thing and it was, oh, I don't even know, late August, early September. And he's like, let's go rip this thing around the yard. So we took it down and ripped it around the pasture, the horse pasture. And oh, it's
Awesome.
just a blast. Got me hooked on it. And
Awesome. So it's your dad's fault. Is that what you're saying? Is your dad
yep,
got you
it's
hooked on sledding?
totally my dad's fault.
Tell your
Yep.
dad that myself and everybody watching is that he's awesome. Like, we love
Yep.
him for getting you
Totally.
into the sport. It's an amazing sport. And you guys get to ride quite a bit together then, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Usually every weekend in the wintertime we try to get out and sled.
That's awesome. So when you were 10 years old on an M7, right? Were you mostly
Yep.
just trail riding? Were you getting out in the
Uh,
meadows? Were you trying to get the sled up on edge at that age? Probably not yet, were you?
no, nothing even close to that. I thought mountain riding was just going off in the ditches and getting stuck and, you know, whatever. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just a crazy experience at first. And
Hmm.
then we went to a snow show, I think, probably 2 years ago,
Okay.
maybe 3 years ago. Yeah. And we, my dad bought me an '03 RMK 800
Okay.
Edge with
Okay.
a 159 track,
Okay.
and it had a pipe and can and everything. The thing was super awesome.
Yeah.
Took that thing out, and that's kind of what got me hooked on the whole kind of riding off trail and up hills. And
Yeah, because
it,
it had what size engine? An 800 in that one?
yeah, 800. Yep.
Yeah, so stepping up from the 700 to the 800 RMK definitely was a step up. That was probably is it the Edge chassis that had the
Yep.
trailing
Edge
arms and stuff
chassis.
on it,
Yep.
right? Okay.
That's what this was. Yeah.
And how long did you ride that one before? And why did you change? Did it malfunction? You blow it up? Did you crash into some trees? Like, what happened to it?
No, so I actually rode the thing for a whole year
Okay,
successfully without crashing it. It was a
nice job.
blast. Yep, start doing hill climbs and everything. It
Yeah.
was a blast. And then I kind of got the idea of looking at all people's new sleds and hopping on new sleds at Clem's and everything. I was like, I'm not riding this old
Ah,
500-pound snowmobile anymore. I'm gonna go buy something newer. So
yeah. So what was your dad's sled at the same time? Like, was he riding something a little more modern, a little newer, or was he on an older
yeah,
sled too,
yeah,
or no?
yeah, 15 RMK.
Okay, so here's the thing: is here you are now, probably 12, 13 years old. Is that pretty close?
Yeah,
Pretty
around
close
that
guess.
age. Yep.
Yeah, give or take. And you're riding the 800, RMK solid
Mhm.
sled. But
Yep.
you're now at the point where you've been probably watching. Do you watch a lot of sled videos and stuff like
Oh
that, or
yeah.
no?
Oh yeah. Yep.
YouTube
Totally.
only, or do you get like the DVDs, or what do you watch?
Oh yeah. Like so I get the 509 films every year and get to watch those and everything. It's just a blast watching
Yeah.
everybody ride sleds.
Okay, and so I'm assuming here you're watching videos, you're seeing your dad ride, be a little more aggressive than you are,
Mhm.
and you're out there trying to mimic him a little bit on your old sled, and you're like, oh my God, this thing's killing me, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah,
so,
so him and my dad's friend Rich would try to go up there and they'd do these short little hill climbs and show off and do wheelies and stuff. And I was like, there is no way I'm doing this on this old snowmobile. I mean, Just
So
crazy.
and so something switched in your head, right? You were kind of like,
Yep.
I got an idea, right? I got an idea. And what happened?
Yeah, so right from there, I started to save up my money and roamed Craigslist every day and finally found a sled that was a little bit of work, would take a little
Yeah.
bit of work to finish, but was something that I could definitely get into affordably. And so I
Yeah.
bought a 2012 Pro RMK
Okay.
163,
Wow.
and it had an 860 big bore kit with SLP pipe and can and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I had a rip track actually. So
Okay.
he wanted like $3,000 for it or something, and I got him all the way down to $1,000 and
Wow.
bought the thing, and that's kind of what got me. And I had to roam around everywhere to try to find a track for it, and finally
Okay.
found a track for it, and spent a couple hours and got her fixed and rode that thing for a whole season.
So let's talk about this for a minute though, because this to me is the most exciting part of this whole story tonight.
Cool.
Is that, you know, first off, congratulations to your dad for getting you hooked, right? Like, to get
Yep,
you out and
totally.
have fun with it, and making it fun for you, and then you got hooked and you started seeing what everybody else was doing. You wanted to participate, you wanted to get on the game, get on your game and get going, and it wasn't, here's the thing that happens to a lot of kids your age and stuff too. It's like, like for me with my kids, it's like, man, if my kid really wants to go, I'm going to buy him a better sled, right? But in your
Yeah.
situation, for whatever reason, you were like, I want to save up and buy my own sled, right? And so you started
Yep.
working. So what kind of work were you doing to save some money up for your first sled? Like, were you just doing summer jobs in the neighborhood, or what were you doing?
Yeah, so my first snowmobile, actually, I was a little bit to the age where I couldn't really get a job or anything. So
Yeah.
we had old parts my dad would have and everything. He'd have me try to list stuff and sell them, and he'd give me part commission and everything. And that's kind of where it got me to my first snowmobile. And
Okay.
then now with my second snowmobile, I work summer jobs and just try
Yeah.
to work up to get to enough money to pay for sleds and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And we'll come back to that again too, your new job and your summer job and your next sled. But let's
Okay,
focus here for
cool.
a minute here. Is, how did you get the guy who had a sled for $3,000 to sell it to you for $1,000? Like, talk me through your negotiation and how you interacted with this guy. Did your dad bend his arm a little bit, or did you just?
No, actually, my dad had nothing
to do
involved
it?
with it.
Oh, I
Nope.
love this. Yeah, this is awesome.
I probably called the guy, I don't even know, probably 20 times. Probably.
maybe he gave it to you cheap just so you quit bugging him.
Yeah,
Is that maybe what happened?
I think I finally annoyed him to the point he's like, just take the thing. It's
That's awesome.
yeah, it was a big deal. Saw the thing on there for I think $3,000 or
Yeah.
$2,500 or something, and I kept trying to negotiate him down. My first offer was like $2,000, and then I'd ask him, I'd be like, so what all does it have wrong with it? And he'd say a vents are cracked or whatever. And I'd be like, okay, well, let's go $1,500 or let's go $1,000. And finally,
So you started working your way down instead of up, right?
Yep.
That's genius.
Yep. I worked my way down and finally got something that I could afford and get into and ride for the season.
Yeah, and so your dad and you went and picked it up, I assume, together, right? And
Yep,
did
totally.
your dad give it a look over and give you the thumbs up saying, yep, you got a good deal?
Yeah, so he went over there and looked at it. We looked at how many miles it had on it and figured out what it had, and he started the thing up and the thing ran perfect. And so right from there, I didn't even question it. I was like, $1,000, there's no way I'm turning this down. And so
That's
paid
awesome.
him the money, and then we drove the thing right up on the back of the tow truck and went home.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so talk to us about the season. You had, how many seasons did you have on that first sled then, or that first sled that you bought? Was it 2 seasons or 1 season?
No, just 1 season. Yep.
So talk me through that first season. Like, okay, so you're now on a better sled that's easier to get up on edge. Obviously, with the big bore kit's got plenty of power, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a handle my first couple times riding it.
Okay.
It was crazy because it still had kind of a wide front end under it because it was 39-inch front end and it was chain case and everything. So kind of had to work at it, but.
Well, and Connor here, I've not met you in person yet, but just from some of the pictures I've seen too, like I'm assuming you're not a real large person, right? Like you're not super tall, like you're not super big, right? So how tall are you?
Yeah, so last year I was 5'3" or 5'5" when I was snowmobiling, and I'm 5'7" now.
Oh, nice! You grew quite a bit this last year. That's awesome. But yeah, so at 5'3", right, you're trying to swing around a Pro RMK, and you got a 163 with a big bore in it. You're probably what, 120 pounds at that point if you're lucky.
Oh yeah, no, I don't even weigh that right now.
Oh, there you go. See, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And so you got like that's the thing is you're driving a full on like mod sled and you're having a blast with it, and here you are riding. So
It was crazy, yeah.
talk us through your first season and like did you start to get that machine up on edge then a little bit and kind of start learning some
Yeah,
skills?
so yeah, that was my first year. I actually got to get off trail, and we were actually super fortunate that year and got to find some little bit of better snow, and it wasn't just all hard pack going to ride in Greenwater and Stampede and up on Snoqualmie and everywhere like that, and finally found some better snow, and I figured out how to lay it over in corners and side hill the thing, and that's kind of what got me hooked on the whole tree riding and backcountry type of
So
thing.
how were you learning these skills? Were you watching videos and then just putting them into action, or was your dad spending a lot of time with you, or like who was teaching you the skills, or how were you learning them?
Yeah, so my dad's been snowmobiling for a long time, but we were kind of both learning together because this was a new thing. He was riding newer sleds, I was riding newer sleds, and so we were trying to figure out exactly where the balance point was and watching videos and trying to figure out how to do it, and finally figured most of it out.
Oh, got a phone. There you go. Cool. And so then ultimately, what happened to the sled? Like you only rode it for one season. What happened?
Yeah, so at the end of the season, I got a little bit cocky with myself and decided to take the sway bar off my sled.
Okay.
And we were getting back a little bit late, so I was trying to, get home a little bit faster and didn't realize it was like those foggy spring days where it's kind of like I don't know how to explain it, like that really
like
dry snow. Yeah.
Okay, like a mashed potatoes type stuff, like really mushy type of stuff. Okay.
Yep. It was really loose on the trail, and I tried to take it around the corner, and no sway bar, and took me off a cliff and hit a tree 30 feet off the ground.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Where did that happen at? What riding area?
Up in Greenwater.
Okay, Greenwater. So I got one question here that Michael Flowers asking: where do you ride most? Is it Greenwater's kind of your main riding area?
Yeah, Greenwater's the closest to us. Yeah, that and Snoqualmie.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've only ridden Greenwater a couple times myself. Usually the local club down there, the Snow Jammers, I'm a member of, and we go to their annual fun run down there. But I've not spent a lot of time riding Greenwater yet. But I've heard a lot of good things about it. But that's crazy.
Yeah, we ride Blewett too. Blewett's a blast. It's all that open big meadows, and that's just fun to bomb around in there.
And so you were just heading down the trail and got bucked off, and like, did you take the ride with the sled up into the tree, or did you bail off and the sled went and hit the tree without you, or what?
No, it was kind of a thing where I noticed last minute I was in the air and I was like, oh, I'm screwed. There's no way I'm gonna be able to bail off. So I stuck it and thought I was gonna be okay, and hit it in the left A arm, so up where my left shock was, and clipped the tree. The sled was upside down. I was under the sled, leaking gas on me, that kind of thing.
You got super lucky, buddy. So I mean, I hope you realize that that kind of an accident could have been fatal. Like, I mean, you might not be here today.
Yeah, totally. I understand. Yep.
And so, being careful out there riding within your limits. But I'll be honest with you, I've toasted sleds myself, and I've got friends who've ridden with, and to some degree, it's part of the learning curve, right? And what did your dad tell you when he, well, let's start here. We'll come back to that. So I'll ask you this question, but don't answer it yet. We'll come back to it. Is what did your dad say when you smoked the sled? But don't answer that yet. What I want to know first is, how did you guys get the sled? Like, if you kind of went off the trail and hit a tree 30 feet in the air, that sled ultimately ended up 30 feet down, and you guys had to get it back up on the trail. What did you do to extract that sled, and what maybe could you teach people how to get a sled off of a 30-foot ravine?
Yeah, so actually I wasn't with my dad that day. It was
really? Okay.
me and my dad's brother Tom, and we were up there snowmobiling, and he's pretty new to it, and I was kind of new to it.
Uncle Tom's fault. It's always the uncle's always just like bad uncles, right? That's the way it always works. No, just kidding.
Yeah, but no, I launched off the tree, and he was a ways behind me trying to catch up, and didn't know I actually went off the cliff and hit the tree, and turned around luckily and came back and checked me and saw me. I worked my way out from the sled and was out there and waving him down and everything. And
wow,
it was pretty stressful at that point. I was kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It was super stressful. I didn't want to ride much anymore. And So,
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like when you have an accident like that, it definitely scares you. Like if I mean,
oh yeah,
I'll tell you this: if you're smart, it scares you because
yep.
that's what should happen. And so at the point that it scared you, you got back up on the trail, and then what did you guys do? Just ride double out and then come back for the sled another day, or did you guys get the sled out like right
No,
away?
so yeah, so what we did is it was way down there, and thanks to all the local people that were up there riding with us and other people around us, they helped us get the thing out. So we hooked the thing to bumpers and the track and everything to try to get the thing to pull out of there. And I thought it was in pieces. I mean,
Wow.
I bent the tunnel over a couple inches and broke the bulkhead in half. Where up where the steering post is on the
Yeah.
Polarises, and it was just a bad deal.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that your sled probably didn't have full coverage on it. You didn't get an insurance check for it, I bet, did you?
Nope, nope.
And so here you are,
Yeah,
you saved up your money, you bought a sled, you got it fixed up, it's your pride and joy, and you go out. Luckily, you didn't get hurt terribly bad, which that's a big deal, buddy. Like be careful when you're out riding. That's we don't want to hear
yep,
next year that you got hurt or something like that. So be careful. But you got that sled up, you got it back out, and when you brought it home and you told your mom and dad what happened, let's talk about what mom and dad said when they first told you. Did they tell you never ride in Slumbill again, or what did they tell you?
no. So actually, my dad was pretty used to it. He's like,
That's awesome.
yeah, he's like totally in snowmobiles is just part of the deal, and everyone is. I was super bummed about it. Honestly, it was
Yeah.
super big deal because I put all my pride and joy into it, and it was something that just wasn't that anymore. And but no, my parents were kind of like super helpful. They helped understand that it was just part of snowmobiling or part of riding dirt bikes or anything motorized that
Yeah.
you ride with.
Okay, so here you are now without a sled, and your sled's a bunch of parts now, right? What do you do with the old sled? Do you sell it? Sell it for parts? Do you?
So what I did is practically everything was just, I mean, A arms and the shocks and everything were just toast. So what I could is I took the track and
Yeah, you had a
the
good track on
rails.
there, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, and the drivers, and did everything I can to try to sell to get as close as I can to try to put towards another sled.
Okay. And so you parted it out, and you went back to work, right? So you did you get an actual job, or did you start doing neighborhood stuff again, or what did you do to get some more money raised?
Yeah, so my dad actually grew up in Edgewood, and he
Okay.
grew up to next to a couple different people where I he knows now, and I went up there and started to work for him up in Edgewood and putting roofs on buildings and doing yard work and just working in the shop with him on his motorhome and everything, just get my way to where I could be able to pay for a new snowmobile.
So that's awesome. You're probably what, 13 years old at this point, roughly, or
No, this was this summer.
oh, that was just this last
Yep.
summer. So 14
Yeah.
years old
Yep.
and working for, over the summer, doing the work that, construction labor, right? Like you're on the roof, you're doing, carrying stuff around, making some decent money, all with this ambition of getting a new sled again, right?
Yeah, so that was kind of that big deal is I've been super lucky to work in body shop and everything with my dad. So I've
Hmm.
kind of figured out how to use tools and work on all my own sleds and everything. So it was pretty easy for me to go from working at home to working in other people's things. I
Yeah,
put a whole roof on a building by myself, and that was a blast.
that's awesome.
Super fun, and made money doing it.
There you go. There you go. And so, what were you saving up for? Have you picked out a sled yet? Do you have a new sled now, or what? What you saved up some money, and what did you buy?
Hmm. Yeah, so kind of my idea was I was going to take my motor out of the sled that I crashed and put that and try to go find a chassis to
Okay.
put my motor in and just put that together and see what I can work out for another snowmobile. And so me and my dad went over to Eastern Washington, like on the border of Idaho, way up by Canada, and found a chassis. It was the only one in Washington we could find, and bought the thing for I think $1,500 without a motor, and which was just crazy because I mean, it was more than what we paid for my first snowmobile.
Yeah. So, what was the chassis again? You said it, but I missed it. What was it?
Yeah, so it was a 2013 Pro.
Okay, so another Pro, and so your motor bolted right in, pretty much, right? Because the chassis were pretty much the same.
Yep, yeah. So that was kind of my idea actually. So I was just gonna bolt the motor in it and figure out what I had to change just because it went from chain case to belt drive. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I was roaming Craigslist again and finally figured out was roaming Craigslist, and some guy was parting out a 2020 Chaos 850
Yep, yep.
Polaris. And I don't know if it was something from the COVID or something, but he was trying to sell stuff. super cheap, and
Okay.
came across the motor and wiring harness and pipe and everything, and I bought everything off him for $600.
Holy smokes.
Yep. So I'm running an 850 motor in my sled this year.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And so Michael Flower asked, "What does your dad do for a living?" I think you said is he a body guy, a body shop guy?
Yeah. Yeah, he owns a body shop and works and sells cars in Auburn.
Cool. Do you want to give your dad a shout out? Give him a little prop up for his business. Tell everybody where he works in case they want to give him some business.
Yeah, totally. So he works on C Street right next to the airport in Auburn, and
Okay.
anything you could bring him, he can practically fix.
What's the name of his shop?
A&H Motorsports.
A&H Motorsports. Very nice, very nice. Because Michael Flower is
Yep.
asking the question. Used to live in Enumclaw, and his son still does, Brendan Flower. But he lives down in Arizona now, and he's a body guy. So he has a body shop down in I don't know exactly what town it was, Phoenix, but down in Arizona he's in, and so he's interested in that too. So that's pretty cool. They might know each other actually because he's from that area. So
Oh
very,
yeah.
very cool. So is your sled together yet? Is it running, or are you still having to build it for a little bit?
Yeah, so I had to go and make custom motor mounts and get
I
all the
bet.
shaft shortened and get everything to get that huge motor fit in there, and it was a big deal, honestly. I don't have the motor in yet, but I'm kind of working on it. And
Yeah. Is it going to happen, you think, or are you going to have to put the other motor in, you think?
no, I already sold the other motor.
Oh, no.
I'm full on committed now. Yeah.
Full on committed. So we've got
Yep.
an 850, it's a Liberty motor, right? Isn't the newer motors are Liberty motors?
No,
And
it's the Patriot. It's the
oh, the
Patriot
Patriot motors.
850.
That's right. Yeah, the
Yep.
Patriot 850 motors. And going to slam that into a Pro chassis,
Yep.
and should have a ripper, and you got a decent track. You're going to have a pretty gnarly machine by the time you get it all done.
Yeah, so I actually bought this sled just because it had a 3-inch track on it. It has a Camoplast 3-inch track and the different drivers in it.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that one had the Walker Evans clickers on it, so it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
more of a sled
Yeah.
that I could jump and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing, Connor, is there's a bunch of people commenting, and I'm just going to reiterate it too, but people are saying like smart kid, like, wow, this kid's got his stuff together, he's amazing. And so you got a lot of fans out there, which you already had before we even got on the show, but people watching the show are just as, and this is why I wanted you to have on the show, is like, you're just an amazing young man and so ambitious and so dedicated to just making stuff happen, right? And I don't know if you know this or not yet, but that's going to be huge in your life. If you can have a vision and imagine, like, I want this, or I want to get this done, I want to execute that, and then you start taking action to build a plan, and you take
Yeah.
action, you're raising money. Most people, even adults, would look at the motor and go like, oh man, the 850 motor won't bolt in my Pro chassis, there's no way that's
Yep.
going to work, and they'd just give up. And
Mhm.
you're like, I'm making this work, like, this is
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Right?
Yeah, I called a milling machine company down in California, and they're like, we're going to get it hooked up. So I got all the measurements and called Clem's probably 50 times to get all these different measurements and everything, and finally got motor mount set in, and
That's
thing
awesome.
lines up perfectly.
That's awesome. Nice job. Nice job. So Michael Flower wants to know, do you do any filming? Have you done in the past, like, any filming, or do you do any
No.
videos and stuff like that?
I've been super focused on just riding sleds, and so this year that's gonna be a big point, is I'm gonna try to do more filming and pictures and stuff.
That's awesome. And so that's actually a perfect transition too, because I know you've gotten hooked up with a few friends of mine over time here. But specifically, why don't you make a little bit of an announcement, or share with everybody kind of what your plan and the partners that you've got for this coming season?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so shout out to Todd Kramer. He's a super cool guy. He sends me stickers and stuff all the time. I'm super happy to be part of Soul Sledders. It's super cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. And so, do you guys have any specific plans? Are you just going to be like filming and taking pictures and documenting for the season?
Yeah,
and
that's kind of
sharing
what we got planned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sharing them on the Soul Sledders page. That's awesome. Nice job.
yeah, super pumped about it this season to be part of a team.
Cool, cool. Well, I think most of the things that you and I chatted about ahead of time we've covered now, but is there anything else that we've missed that you think we need to still chat about?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think we've just about covered everything.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. How about your let's just take a little bit of not too different, but a little bit of a different direction here. But
Cool.
what do you? I mean, you're 15 years old today. Happy birthday
Yep.
again. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
And you've got a bright future in front of you. And so, like, what in your mind is your goals or your visions in regards to maybe snowmobiling or maybe your future career, or like what's your vision for your future, whether it be short term over the next few years or maybe long term into an adulthood? Have you kind of got some thoughts together on what that might look like?
Yeah, so I've kind of not been sure really what I've wanted to do for a job or anything. It's super
Yeah.
hard for me to kind
Well,
of pick
you're only
on.
15, so give
Yep,
yourself a break. Don't worry about that.
yep,
But yeah,
yeah, but no, for snowmobiling, I just want to just focus on being a better snowmobiler and support the sled community in a positive way. Just to let everybody out there know
that's
what
awesome.
snowmobiling is and what it's about.
Yeah. I mean, one thing you could do too, and again, I know you at 15 years old, you're probably not driving yourself around yet, but you're not too far away, another year away or so, right?
Yep, almost.
Yep, exactly. And so you'll be hanging out a lot with your family and your uncles and everybody riding and stuff too. But you guys have a great snowmobile club right down the road from you. It's the Snow Jammers. Myself and my wife are members of the Snow Jammers,
Hmm.
and a good friend of mine, Chris Sutton, is the president down there. And so if your dad and your family are interested, you guys should join and start hooking up with some of the local people down in your area.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
Yep,
I think they do a fun run every year that's up in
they do.
Greenwater, and yeah,
They do.
we've been trying to go to that for the last few years. But
Yep.
last year they had, I don't remember what highway it was, but got up to Chris Mountain. 410 got closed because of the
Oh, I
rock
remember.
slides and
I
mud
remember that.
slides and
Yeah.
everything. So couldn't
Yep.
go to the fun run, and you know,
Yep,
it's just
I was supposed to be there
snowed.
running the tent for the Avalanche Center, and it didn't work out that year. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
Snow
here
Jammers is a super cool club.
so here's a big deal, Connor. Is this doesn't happen, and so I just want you to know, my wife Edith, who you probably have seen on Facebook, she
Yep.
just said, Connor, enjoyed your enthusiasm and positive attitude. Thanks for sharing your story. Happy birthday and have a great snowmobile season. Edith hardly ever comments on the shows, buddy. So that's a winner right there. Nice job.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. And so, yeah, join some clubs and get out there. And I want to ride with you. I mean, we live so close that we need to get out there. Like, your dad, myself, let's figure it out. We'll get some rides planned
Totally.
together, and we'll do a couple of selfies and send them off to Todd Kramer so you can add them to your Soul Sledders page, and go from there. But dude, I'm
Yeah,
stoked for you. This is awesome. So go ahead. What were you gonna say?
yeah, no, just hopefully we can get him to come over here and we can all head up to Baker or something and
Yeah,
go
that'd be
have
awesome.
fun.
Have you ridden Baker before?
No, this is actually, well, I haven't ridden Baker before, but I'm super pumped about it. Seen people ride it,
Yeah,
seen
it's
videos of you up there and at
yep.
Bear Paw and everything.
Yeah, no, it's Baker, and that whole area up there is pretty epic, but it can be pretty dangerous if you don't know the area. So if you go up there, make sure you connect with someone like myself who knows the area,
Oh
or
yeah, yeah,
other,
because crevasses and avalanches and
yep, all kinds of crazy stuff. So awesome, awesome. Are you guys all set up? I should have asked you, but hopefully the answer is the right answer. But are you guys set up with safety gear and when you're out riding and your avalanche gear and stuff, or no?
yeah. So this year actually, yeah, thanks to my grandparents, I got an avalanche backpack and
Woohoo!
that was super awesome for my birthday. But yeah, before that, my dad kind of helped pitch in, and we both kind of did half and half. And I got beacons, and we just got radios, and got
Awesome,
probes and shovels and everything. And we're trying to,
nice job.
we really want to get trained professionally this year and figure
Yeah.
out, yeah,
That's great, dude. You're doing it all right. And so the next big step for you guys, if you haven't, is look forward to getting into some Avalanche classes. Like you get into a level 1 at some point, but you and I can chat a little bit more privately about that over time. And it all costs money, but you got to take it a step at a time.
yep,
But you're doing all the right things so far. So nice job. I really appreciate what you're doing.
yeah, it's totally worth taking the classes. Yep.
Cool, cool. So Connor, right before the show, you told me I'm super nervous.
Yeah.
Are you still super nervous?
No, it's
It's pretty
sometimes
easy,
super
right?
hard for me. Yeah, like you were talking about eye contact and everything. It's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things.
You killed it, dude. Like our show's over and you killed it. Like you did an awesome episode. We had a great time. We got a lot of great comments. But just want to say thank you for being on the show tonight. And dude, you got a bright future, and I look forward to riding with you and meeting you in person soon.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. I really appreciate it. This is super cool opportunity for me. This is cool.
Very cool, very cool. Any final words before I wrap the show up?
I think I'm good.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna whisper. Ready? Thank mom and dad for all their support.
Yep,
Do that. Come on,
totally.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah, thank you,
To who?
mom and dad.
There you go. See, mom and dad are going to watch this later and they're going to
Yep.
say, nice
Oh
job.
yeah.
All right. So, all right, everybody. Thank you all for watching. God bless everybody. And don't forget to live large. Have a great night.